Welcome to the AJ Sports Show. Today I'm going to preview college football week 7 and NFL's week 6. Basically, take the big games of the week for college football and all the NFL games for week 6, and basically I'm making my picks of who I think wins and who I think loses. So there are a couple games that are actually going on right now. So in the fourth quarter, as I'm recording this, Northwestern's up on Maryland 23-10, and in Utah against Arizona, they're up. Utah's up 3-0 in the first quarter. As I'm recording this, when you're watching it, those games will be over. So I'm not going to predict those games as they're going on right now as I'm recording. So I'm purely going for the Saturday games for college football. As I'm recording this, the Dodgers just beat the Padres 2-0 to advance the NLCS. I'll get to a little bit of baseball after I preview NFL's Week 6. But enough wasting time, let's go. South Carolina taking on Alabama. I think Alabama bounces back. They got absolutely humiliated by Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt hadn't beaten Alabama since 1984 till last week. I think Bama, they'll beat South Carolina. They'll play with a chip on their shoulder. They know they embarrassed themselves. They should go out and beat South Carolina pretty handily. Clemson and Wake Forest. Over the last few weeks, it looks like Clemson may actually have an offense this year. I think they're going to beat Wake Forest pretty handily. Missouri and UMass. Missouri got blown out by Texas A&M last week. I think Missouri bounces back. It's UMass. Yeah. Hopefully that ain't a jinx. Washington taking on Iowa. This is at Iowa. This could go either way, you know. Washington's kind of been odd this season. They beat Michigan last week, but they have 2 losses. I almost don't know who to pick here, because Iowa's a tough place to play. And it's not like Washington's undeniably great. I'm going to pick Iowa on this one. I think it's going to be a typical slog, just like any other Iowa game. So give me Iowa in a low-scoring 17-13 kind of game. Wisconsin taking on Rutgers. I'm going to pick Rutgers. Wisconsin's just, I don't know. They're just not very good this year. Second year in the Luke Fickell era, it's just, I don't know. It's not been great for them. Georgia Tech taking on North Carolina. I'm going to pick Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech's a decent team this year. They're not great, but they're to be respected. So I'm going to take Georgia Tech. The Red River rivalry, Texas and Oklahoma. I'm a Sooner fan. I'm supposed to have optimism, but not this week. My optimism is dead. Oklahoma's without their 2 best receivers. Running game has been non-existent. The offensive line is inexperienced. They're going to get beat down. Texas is going to blow out Oklahoma. Archman is going to dissect Oklahoma's defense. It might be close in the first half because Oklahoma has a good defense, and I think they'll hold Texas offense in check in the first half. But in the second half, it's going to look bad. Oklahoma's offense just won't be able to keep up. They just don't have the guys out there. Too many banged up players. Michael Hawkins is okay, but that's all he is at best, unless he just plays out of his brain. We might contend against Texas, but Oklahoma's going to lose to Texas. Yeah, I'm not that optimistic of a Sooner fan this week. Penn State traveling to USC. I have a feeling this could be a trap game for Penn State. We all know that Penn State, Utah line. I just saw a Utah lineman just had an interception. That's crazy. Yeah. Anyways, Penn State and USC. I don't know if it's just me, but I'm going with a USC upset. I have a feeling that this is a trap game for Penn State. I can feel it. It's one of those gut feelings that I have. For whatever reason, I just think Penn State's going to play like crap against USC. That is just my gut feeling. I could be wrong. Most likely, I'm probably going to be wrong. But that's just what my gut's doing. So give me USC on that. That's going to be one like my upset of the week. Notre Dame taking on Stanford. Notre Dame should win. California versus Pitt. This could actually sneakily be a good game. Pitt is 5-0. How? And Cal's not to be slept on. I'm going to pick Cal. I don't know. After that heartbreaking loss to Miami last week, I think Cal will play with vengeance. Purdue against Illinois. Illinois is going to destroy Purdue. Purdue's just garbage. Ryan Walters is your new Dale Hazel. Graham Harrell just got fired as offensive coordinator. Purdue is going to suck until they throw Ryan Walters under the guillotine. Walters is just... He's just not a head coach material. He's just not. Louisville, Virginia. We'll pick Louisville. Arizona and BYU. Give me BYU. Arizona's just underachieved this year. They're just not very good. Mississippi State, Georgia. I'll take Georgia. Florida and Tennessee. Tennessee will win handily, in my opinion. Game of the week. Tomorrow, Ohio State taking on Oregon. This is one of those games I don't know who to pick. They're two great teams. Ohio State's probably looked better than Oregon this year. Oregon's first 2 weeks, they were pretty bad. But they got it going a little bit. But Ohio State, man, this is so tough. It's Dylan Gabriel versus Will Howard. Dan Lanning versus Ryan Day. It's at Eugene. Eugene is going to be rocking. This is a tough... Ohio State can play good on the road. We saw that against Notre Dame last year. I'm going to say Ohio State. Ohio State beats Oregon. That is my prediction. Another big game. Ole Miss taking on LSU. Ole Miss, they had a bad loss in Kentucky. LSU, I mean, they've been good, but they haven't, broken through yet. So will they break through? I'm going to say yes. It's at LSU. And it is just, I don't know how good you are, but playing at LSU at night is just tough. Especially when LSU is a relatively good team. So I'm going to pick LSU against Ole Miss. Vanderbilt at Kentucky. This matchup happened last week. I would say Kentucky, but I'm picking Kentucky. I know Vanderbilt beat Alabama, but the thing is, when you have that big of a win, you just have the tendency to let your foot off the gas. And I think that's what's going to happen. Vanderbilt's going to just come out flat, and Kentucky will pounce. I think they'll beat Vanderbilt. It's going to be a close game, but I just think Vanderbilt's just going to come out flat. They had that big emotional win. They had a few days to live it up. And that'll get you. Remember 2018 where Purdue beat Ohio State, blew out Ohio State out of the building? Urban Meyer just going like this and faking a brain cyst like he did all year that year. Do you remember that win? And Purdue lost to Michigan State the very next week. That's kind of what I feel with Vandy. Vandy's a respectable team this year. They let it be known against Virginia Tech, let's be honest. And they definitely made it known last week against Maryland. But they're going to come out flat after that emotional win. It's at Kentucky. I think Kentucky wins. It's going to be 20-13 kind of a game. Iowa State taking on West Virginia. Iowa State looks pretty good. West Virginia is kind of disappointed themselves. I'm going to say West Virginia wins. It's going to be a 27-17 game. I think West Virginia will win. Syracuse taking on NC State. NC State's having a disaster season. A lot of expectations. So far, it's fall flat in their face. I'm going to say NC State. They'll come out. I don't know. I have a feeling that NC State's going to force Kyle McCord 2-3 turnovers. And NC State will win. They'll win ugly. Kansas State, Colorado. Colorado is 4-1. Last year they were 4-8. Their offense looks good. Their defense looks a little better. Will it be enough to beat Kansas State? That's a tough call. I'm going to say... That's tough. It is so tough. Because Kansas State's a very respectable team. I think what happens is Kansas State's going to control the ground. They're going to absolutely win on time possession. And Kansas State's going to win the game that way. I think they're going to play keep away, keep Colorado's offense off the field, and they'll win it that way. So I think Kansas State wins. So let's get to the NFL's week. Thursday night game happened. 49ers beat the Seahawks 36-24. So let's get to the Sunday games. For the London game, Jaguars versus the Bears. Jaguars finally had a win last week against the Colts. The Bears, Caleb Williams is looking better. The team is looking a little bit better. Jaguars, for whatever reason, play pretty good in London. Although they pretty much play in London every single year for the last decade, let's be honest. But man, I'm so tempted to pick the Bears because they've been playing good football. I'm going to pick the Jags. I think the Jags will play desperate. We all know Doug Peterson at this point is coaching for his job. So I think the Jags will win a game out of their ass and beat the Bears. Cardinals versus the Packers. I think this could be a low-key, high-scoring affair. Cardinals defense can't stop a run. Well, Kyler Murray's played pretty well. The Packers defense has been decent, but I think it's acceptable. I think Packers will win. It's going to be 31-27 kind of a game. That's how I see it. Buccaneers taking on the Saints. This is Spencer Rattler's first career NFL start. He'll have a moment or two, but at the end of the day, Buccaneers are going to win. Baker Mayfield is going to light it up, in my opinion. So, give me the Bucs on that one. Texans taking on the Patriots. Give me the Texans. Even though the Texans have played good football, not great. Nico Collins is out for some time. I think the Texans are just superiorly the more talented team than the Patriots. So give me the Texans. Colts taking on the Titans. I don't even know who the hell is starting for the Colts this week. Because what I've read, if Richardson's ready to go, they'll start him. I think they should start Flacco. They should ride the hot hand, in my opinion. Michael Pittman Jr. is out for probably a month with a back injury. Taylor is out for this game. So the injuries are just piling on the Colts. I think the Titans will win. The Titans just simply have more bodies out right now. And that is going to hurt the Colts. This looks to be a lost season for the Colts. And once this season's done, in my opinion, the way I see it, we're going to be asking, will Chris Ballard have a job next year? Or his ass is really on the hot seat? That's going to be the question, the way I see it after this season. Browns taking on the Eagles. I'll say the Eagles will win, even though Nick Sirianni's a fool. Deshaun Watson's shoulder looks shot dead. He just cannot play quarterback anymore. And I do believe the Browns, specifically Kevin Stefanski, will get to the point where enough's enough. I can't start Watson no more. He's going to get to that point. We all know he's only starting because of that ginormous monstrosity of a contract that he's got. That's the only reason why he's still starting. And he's going to start against the Eagles, and he's going to look trash, like he's been every week. So I'll say the Eagles win. Commanders and the Ravens. This also has a chance to be a shootout. Jay Daniels is playing like a rookie of the year right now. And Lamar Jackson and the Ravens finally getting it together. I think Jay Daniels is going to play solid, but ultimately the Ravens are the better team, so I'm going to take the Ravens. Chargers versus the Broncos. This game is going to determine if one of their tackles can start this week. Because Ole and Slater both have been out for a while. Bosa, the way I read it, is questionable. Rashawn Slater's questionable. Let's look how Joel All is. It looks like Joel All will start. So Joel Alt's going to start. Bosa and Slater are questionable. I'm going to say the Chargers win just out of sheer gut. Because although the Chargers have been banged up, I just think the only reason why the Broncos have been winning is the teams they've been playing have been playing like crap against them. So I'm picking the Chargers. Steelers and the Raiders. This game is going to be an ugly game. Probably going to be the worst quality of football this week. I think the Raiders win because the Steelers just struggle when they play at the Raiders. For whatever reason. Although it's now at Las Vegas, that trend might change. But every Steelers game is so drunk. You never know. But I'm going to pick the Raiders. Falcons and the Panthers. Let's say the Falcons. Panthers are garbage. Kirk Cousins is starting to get going over there. Falcons starting to look good. Pick the Falcons. Lions and the Cowboys. I'm going to pick the Lions. They're going to come out, play hard after what happened last year. If you remember what happened last year's Monday Night Football against those two. Lions are going to come out. They're going to beat the Cowboys. There's too many flaws on this Cowboys team. They can't run the football. Their defense is okay, but they're banged up with injuries. And yeah, Prescott's going to hit a couple splash plays, but ultimately the Lions' offense is going to counter. So I'll take the Lions. Bengals taking on the Giants. Bengals' defense has been outright atrocious so far this year. How they're going to look against the Giants? I'll say the Bengals win. They'll beat the Giants because Daniel Jones can't throw a deep ball. Yeah. I mean, the Cowboys have a lot of flaws. And Giants hunt for dear life. So, yeah, I'm taking the Bengals. Monday Night Football, the Bills versus the Jets. This game could be interesting because the Jets fired Robert Saleh. They promote their defensive coordinator. I'm forgetting names. So let's look up this guy's name. Jeff Ulbrich. Jeff Ulbrich's the interim head coach. Todd Downing is calling plays. If you remember Todd Downing from Tennessee, he wasn't very good. This could go either way. The Bills had a bad loss against the Texans where they just went brain dead at the end of the game. I don't know who to pick. Jets have played ugly football, but the Bills, after had their first 3 dominant wins, had 2 losses, kind of skidding. I'm going to go bold and say the Jets will win. There's so many flaws against this Jets team, by the way. Arizona State just scored a touchdown. So they're an extra point away from getting a 1-point lead, I believe. Two minutes to go in the first quarter, and Arizona State's an extra point away from getting a 1-point lead. Yeah, anyways. Jets have so many flaws, but sometimes, for whatever reason, whenever an interim head coach plays in their first game, they always win that first game. It's at Monday night. The Jets going to play a different kind of energy. The kicker missed the extra point, so it was tied at 6. That's hilarious. But anyways, Jets are going to win this game. It's going to be kind of a weird game. It's going to be a strange one, I think. Bills have come out flat. Jets have kind of reshuffled their coaching staff. I'll say the Jets win. Jeff Ulbrich with his first win as interim head coach. Now, is this win going to salvage the Jets season? I'm going to say no. This will not salvage the Jets season. But for at least 1 week, Jets fans will have any kind of optimism. Which, let's be honest, they need some kind of optimism. And before we end this show, let's do a quick review of the playoffs a little bit. I'm not going to go into detail of any of this. I'm just going quick. The Mets beat the Phillies 3-1. The Phillies bat stayed silent. Yeah. Like, Castellanos and Harper were the only ones doing nothing. Everybody else just sucked in this series. Like, Trey Turner disappeared. Brandon Marsh just disappeared. Rio Milito's nowhere to be found. Yeah. The Mets. Yeah, can you imagine early in May thinking that the Mets will advance to the NLCS? They were train wreck at that time. But they've got on a hot streak. And they play inspired baseball. And these guys, they come to play. And so the Dodgers, who just beat the Padres, it's not going to be a shoo-in for the Dodgers. They got to play their best baseball, or the Mets can knock them off. And as for the Padres, their last 2 games, 0 runs. Yeah, after that second inning, I believe in Game 3, the Padres' bats just went ice cold. Anytime they ever had a chance to get, when they had a runner in scoring position, they just don't. They don't take advantage of it. The Yankees beat the Royals 3-1. The Royals just didn't have enough firepower in their bats. The Yankees didn't score all that much either, but they were scoring enough to beat the Royals. The Royals only scored 2 runs in their last 2 games. Just not enough to beat the Yankees. The Guardians and the Tigers, which will be later today once this video is published. Tigers taking on the Guardians. It's going to be Skubal versus Matthew Boyd. This could get interesting. Skubal has been the hottest pitcher in baseball. I mean, he has just mowed down hitters this season. But it's at Cleveland. Do you trust the Guardians to do something? Or will the Tigers create some chaos and win Game 5? I'm going to pull the trigger and go with the Tigers. Tyreek Skubal will pitch a masterpiece. Tigers will scrap in a couple runs. It'll be a 3-1 kind of a game. And Detroit will take on the Yankees in the ALCS. That will be my prediction. So that's it for a little college football's Week 7 preview, NFL's Week 6 preview, and a little bit of what's been going on in the MLB playoffs. So that's your episode. Thanks for watching.